up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening? How y'all doing? All right. Today we're going to talk a bit about the visa bulletin in February. It's not my favorite topic, but it's important to discuss. And as you know, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem, maybe prevent the problem from happening in the first place, folks. So welcome to drop a question down below. Again, you don't have to ask me or tell me that you have a question. Just go ahead straight to it. Don't worry, it's not considered rude, at least not in social media, um, as far as I understand. Let's see here. So let me just hop into. Let me just try to set up Instagram real quick. Okay, I guess it's too late for me to do that. Alrighty. Let me fix this. Okay, so again, welcome to greencardguys.tv. Happy to answer your questions. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening. All right. Okay, greetings there, Roots and Routes. I got this screen behind me. I need to figure it out so I can share something with y'all. All righty. I do slowly but surely I'll get something set up. Like those finance people on YouTube or something. They got all this set up, but my ideal world is whatever I talk about, I can share it right here with y'all. Okay, so let's talk about the visa bulletin. Let me pull it up here for y'all. Quick overview, then I'll answer some questions. Okay, and just some things as a red flag to be concerned about, because some people, here's the deal. Some people, you file the petition, and let's say it's, for example, a US citizen filed for your brother or sister, and you're like, yeah, you're good to go. Don't worry, it's going to take 15, 17 years. Check it out in 5 years. Well, let's say 10 years pass, and you're like, holy crap, like, what are you talking about? Because they might forget, like, oh, what's the priority date? What's the case number? And someone lost it, or if the person, your sponsor, could have passed away, and that person held all the information. And not to say that you've been waiting for me. Hey, Juice, what's up? Um, Not to say that your sponsor, your sibling, was trying to hold all the information only. I heard some people do that, but you just want to make sure you have that information as soon as your sponsor filed it. Okay, for example, like the receipt number, case number, some things that you can keep track of, because we received some inquiries from people like y'all in the audience who asked that, like, oh, well, how do I find out my case? You have to have some kind of case number. So as soon as your sponsor files it, please kindly ask, especially if it's not a spouse, which would be kind of weird if your spouse filed it, but then you don't have the info. That's a little bit red flag. For our team, we prefer to, it's our action plan to email both spouses or both sponsor and beneficiary. We just believe that all parties involved. Now, whoever's paying it is not necessarily a sponsor. In that situation, we don't include that person in email communication. Okay, but yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea. Just want you to mention this, Tony. I'm Tony on YouTube. I am so sorry for you. Yes, I was also rooting for the 49ers, but I think, Tony, you know this. For me, at halftime, I was thinking, okay, 49ers are up, but I have a feeling Patrick Mahomes and their team was going to take some action here. And yeah, it was kind of a slow moving game, but drop in the comments if you're a 49ers fan, or you're rooting for the 49ers, or you're Kansas City Chiefs rooting for them, if you follow football. Let's see. Comment from Antonio. Hey, what's up, Antonio? Great news for you. You got your interview for next month. Oh my gosh, only took 13 months from PD to interview. And Antonio's a Chiefs fan. Yeah, I have a fraternity brother from college that through and through was a Chiefs fan. Of course, like 20 years ago, they were not doing so good. But yeah, I guess you consider them a dynasty now. Pretty crazy. Anyways, back to immigration. Alrighty. Let's see about immigration. Yeah, I wanted to share with you. We got the March bulletin up now, but it's released. But let's just, since this show is talking about February bulletin, let me just share that one. So y'all have to also know, okay, just a quick lesson here, at least for the folks on YouTube and Facebook, you can see the screen, is that for people to break it down, there's two different charts, chart A and chart B. What's the main difference? Currently, if you're filed your 485 application and you're in the United States, of course, because that's the only way you can file the 485, then you want to pay attention to chart B. Okay. But if you're outside the United States and what we call consular processing, you want to follow chart A. Okay. Because chart B, for people who are outside the United States, you might get a little confused. Like you see your prior date has, it's a date on the chart here that's passed. Let's say like F1. Right now it says September 2017 for all chargeable areas, meaning other countries, nationalities other than China, India, Mexico, or Philippines. It says September 2017, but let's say your prior date is September 2016, or let's say like August 2017, then that means your prior date has reached. So you can take the next step. But for those abroad, Chart B is really right now for like if you to upload the next set of documents. It doesn't mean you're going to get the visa interview right now. And even if you get the visa interview right now, that does not mean you're going to get the visa like the following week. It's very unfortunate. So because that's where chart A would come into play. Okay, this is the one that says numbers are authorized for issuance only for applicants whose prior date is earlier than the final action chart. Okay, that's chart A. All right, and then thank you so much for your questions. I will get to them very soon. Almost done explaining the visa bulletin here. The next thing is about the categories. Okay, so this is a little bit higher level. I'm going to go and offer y'all a workshop if you want to on a separate platform, so that you can more easily ask questions about this. Um, so we're going to include about visa bulletin as well. Another one about visitor visa, because we don't offer that as a service, but we're happy to talk about it, share some tips on that. Let's see here. Yeah, but I'm gonna have another one about the situations when automatic conversion. For example, like your F, you may start out F2A. You file for your child who's under 21, but then the child becomes over 21 and older, right? Then it becomes F2B, and then maybe you become a citizen. So that would go up to F1. But then let's say your son or daughter gets married, then that goes down to F3. So it's potentially a lot of back and forth depending on the status of your sponsor or the beneficiary. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. So one scenario, for example, um, that's affected that's something that government does not explain, of course, unless you look really, really detailed, is when you sponsor your spouse who's in a different country, and that may include children, you only have to file one petition, I-130. However, if you become a citizen as a sponsor, or if you're watching this and you're the beneficiary, but your spouse becomes a U.S. citizen, that's great for the spouse who's a foreign national. However, that knocks out your children in terms of moving to the next step. So that's why you have to file a new petition as soon as you become a US citizen. And so a lot of people wait unintentionally because they didn't know this rule. They wait until they talk to our team or maybe another a law firm. And then they find out, oh, shoot, I got to file a new petition. And you could have saved a lot of time. All right. So I hate to say, it seems like at least 1 year has been wasted. Usually, when people contact us, and by that 1 year, hopefully that petition at least is Already completed. All right. So this, of course, y'all know I could talk more and more about this stuff, but let me go on and answer your questions. All right. Let's see. All right. A question on Jennifer says, thank you for your service. Happy to help. Much love from the Philippines. Hope all is good. Hopefully, you're not in an area in the Philippines where I hear news about flooding and the dangerous weather conditions there. So, hope you're okay. Routes and routes. You got your package yesterday. That's right. And you sent it back with correct fees. Okay, great. Hopefully, you get that receipt notice in a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Daniel asked, can your sister bring you to the USA? She's a citizen. So that's actually what I just discussed a bit ago. That would be the F4 category. She can certainly, your sister or sibling can sponsor you for a petition, but that's it right now. Okay. Unless your sister might have a company, but that gets a little gray area. You do need to disclose that's based on family relationship, whatnot, and that's usually discouraged. But we're happy to chat more, Daniel. Sometimes a family member may have a company in U.S. and you could get sponsored, but it's could be more complex. So it's a lot of diligence. Because I've taken over a case I recall where a previous lawyer, the client claimed that they didn't know that you had to check mark as family relationship, and that was an in-law situation. Okay, relationship. So the government initially denied it, but we were able to get reopened, fortunately. It's a difficult situation, but anyway, hopefully that gives you an idea. All right, let me switch over to the other platform here. Hey, P Mayo, happy to help. By the way, folks, this is a good time to ask you if you appreciate the way I share information. Please subscribe on your respective platforms. And one way you can contact us, we get this question a lot, is how to contact our team. So even though it's a greencardguys.tv channel on the media brand, our law firm that supports us is Ting Law Group. So, but it's actually greencardguys.com, and you can click on contact us to answer a few questions, and you'll get the redirected to the form. I mean the calendar to schedule a meeting. Okay, now I don't mean to skip around, but there's some questions that just kind of want me to answer. And that's like this Hazel. Okay, Hazel asked, "Do I offer Lozado?" I'm not here. Lozado, if no one knows, is a legal strategy or scenario, extra pathway, I guess you could say, in the sense that maybe your case got denied or something bad happened in your case, usually pretty negative, like you didn't get the status, and it was because of the fault of your attorney. We've had some scenarios where we have had to file a complaint, help out our client. And what we do is we actually contact that lawyer because I believe it's always best to contact lawyers. Say, hey, we have this client, this person contact us. They gave us authority to call, permission to contact you, and that usually some states or circuits around the country require us to do that. Really give them not a benefit of doubt, but as a courtesy to let them know, hey, we're basically going to file a complaint against you, and here's why. And really, that's actually a good conversation, fruitful conversation to have because you might not exactly know what happened, and it's I think having some knowledge on what happened, like yeah, maybe the attorney or law firm dropped the ball, um, but maybe it was a specific strategy decision. Maybe they didn't drop the ball, but it was a specific strategy decision that they didn't consider some other strategy. So, but yeah, Lozado's a real thing. I share an office with a couple colleagues. They actually filed a lawsuit against another immigration law firm, and of course, they asked me questions about immigration because they don't know anything about it. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely a Lozado type situation. And one example is that it's just weird. Like, I'm gonna record some videos for y'all to explain the different types of people, that persons like yourself would hire. But I can tell you right now, it's really best to hire if you're gonna hire someone and pay someone for services. You definitely need to hire an immigration lawyer. It just breaks my heart. Someone contacts our office and then ends up hiring like a notario, a notary. It just doesn't make sense in my mind. I think they charge just as much as we do. So it makes me wonder, maybe there's just not enough information about it. So we'll definitely share more info on that. But y'all are welcome to share because I'm wondering. Apparently, I have some accounts that is what do you call they cloned account basically, downloaded my videos and re-uploaded pretending to be me. It's just weird. So just be aware of that on social media. It seems to be happening more often on Instagram for some reason. So clearly Meta needs to do the platform needs to do something better on that. Let's see. But yes, we do help with Lozado. So yeah, if and that one quick just to wrap it up, that topic is my colleagues in the same office, they've had to sue immigration law firm, and they come to give. Of course, I can share a little bit because I'm not sharing client specific client names. Is that that law firm encouraged them to file asylum, but it did not make sense because, as y'all know, y'all are more informed here because you follow me on this channel. You learn more, but that person was married to a U.S. citizen, so it didn't make sense to have to file asylum. Okay, it just did not make sense. And of course, they paid money for that, and they never got updated on the case. It's so mind-boggling. So that an immigration attorney licensed, that is, to actually offer that. But I think the main issue with more of an issue with that is the immigration attorney did not work on the case. It was only like it's as if he hired a notario himself. So yeah, ridiculous. Stories like that piss me off. So, y'all, again, if y'all gonna spend money on on a person, a law firm, a company, please hire a law firm. I know a lot of great attorneys across the country. So if you need someone face to face, I totally get it. Happy to refer you. We're not gatekeepers of that kind of information. We do have a network of attorneys, but of course, it'll be our pleasure to assist you. Let's see here. All right, now to answer some more questions. Sorry, that was a long answer. Let me scroll down on TikTok so I try not to skip anyone. Let's see. Melanie in Spies. How do you get your case in court? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean you're trying to get your case dismissed? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try not to assume some facts, so I'm just gonna move on to the next question. So please follow up with a comment if you're still on, as a courtesy to others. Let's see. Blue Channel, you filed your I-130 form petition in May 2023. Case still says actively being reviewed. Okay. Yeah, almost a year. Is it you only filed the petition itself? If you only file petition, yeah, for some reason it average takes a year, assuming it was based on spouse. But yeah, if the other thing about that actively being reviewed, it doesn't literally mean someone's reviewing your file right at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see. Hey, what's up, D Duomo? Okay. Angela, you're from Illinois. Can we hire our office to file for fiance visa for you? Absolutely, Angela. Happy to chat. Get in contact with my team, please, and go to greencardguys.com or send us a DM, and we can send you that website. P Mayo, you say P Mayo. Oh man, I missed a lot of questions. Sorry, folks. Oh, see, TikTok does this weird thing. It like scrolls it down too quickly. Okay. So if I skip you, it's on accident. I know some people get a little frustrated, but okay, take it easy, gal. Life's short. Take it easy. All right. Hope y'all having a great day. It's here in Houston. It's a great weather. Fortunately, finally, especially in February. Okay, how long is marriage-based adjustment takes after receiving travel document combo card? So, free woman 568 on TikTok. There is no set timing, unfortunately. It's more about, like, for example, when we file lawsuits against USCIS, for example, it's really more based on the filing date, your receipt date, not so much like timing after a step after that, like biometrics, receiving your combo card. Um, So I don't know how soon because I don't know how soon for file date to combo card. Some it could vary for depending on the case. But in general, our fastest one was late last year. It took 2 months. I think it ended right in December. All right, let me scroll back up here. Okay, Juice, your question is I-751 process is pending. You want to travel to St. Thomas. Can you go? You have valid DL. Um, St. Thomas is U.S. Virgin Island, right? So as long you could travel anywhere as long as you got the valid unexpired extension. Okay. When you received a receipt notice from 751, it should tell you right under those little boxes where your name is. It should tell you in a sentence like it's valid up to 48 months. Okay. Basically, an extension of a conditional residence status. Now, for me, I would like to take it a step further that you call in to the USCIS hotline and because I don't know if you could do it online anymore for that, but info pass appointment. You schedule and you ask you want to get a stamp on your passport, I-551 stamp. So further proof for the person at the little I was going to say desk, but before you get on a plane, because there's somehow in their system, I believe, this is what I've been told is that they'll ask like, hey, where's your identity card or something like that, especially on your way back. I've heard it both ways. Alrighty here. Let's see. STFU one triple ones. Can you upload new 864 before they send RFE? You could try. I don't know if that would prevent anything, but possibly could prevent RFE. So yeah, if you have an online account, certainly does not hurt your case or anything if you file it afterwards online. Upload, I mean. Yeah, you definitely want to get that done. Thank God for the online account. It's getting better and better, slowly but surely. There's so much more they could do. If they would just take my ideas, I think it would be much better for all of y'all. Okay. Hello, can a person apply for citizenship with a record of tax? Ooh, snap. Tax fraud? Anything related to tax like that and fraud? I don't think so. My gut tells me no. Are they already, when you say record, that sounds like you already had a conviction. So you can go search permanent. Well, you know what? Let me see if I can find it for you. You're on TikTok, so you can't see this, but let me see if I can find the part about permanent bar. Good moral character. There we go. Um, you may have to talk to an attorney um, in your state to see if that qualifies as aggravated felony. Okay. Yeah, yeah, here it is. Let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah, this section here for those on Facebook and YouTube, this is under the category chapter 4 of the policy manual, permanent bars to good moral character under aggravated felony. It doesn't actually mean that you have to have a felony on paper. It could be even a misdemeanor, but based on the elements of the crime, it's considered a aggravated felony. I know it can be confusing. There's plenty of lawsuits about this. But yeah, let's see. Tax fraud. Okay, fraud and deceit offenses or tax evasion over 10,000 USD would be considered an aggravated felony. So that knocks that person out. Okay, whoever that is. All right, let's see. Okay, P Mayo. If you filed a spouse visa and you're both in different countries, do both parties interview? So I'm going to assume that you're the US citizen or the resident and you file for a spouse abroad. You don't have to show up. Let's say, I'm just making up like in Mexico. You don't have to show up and say it out of Mexico for the interview. Yeah, there's no requirement for that, thankfully, because sometimes the interview is like 5 to 10 minutes. but it's so fast. You're like, what the hell just happened? Like, don't they want to ask me some questions? Which is super frustrating because sometimes I'll email people after asking for DS 5535 form. And if they ask you that, they don't do that for everyone. It's just so ridiculous. They should just ask people if they're gonna ask people to do it, they should do it beforehand. It's like the last 15 years of where you work and where you live. It's stupid. All right, let's see. Okay, JV AOS interview on January 6th, 2023. Decision still pending due to our fee. January 6th, 2023. But officer never got it. What now? How do you know the officer never got it? You talking about USCS never received it? What is it? JV on TikTok? What does it say on your USCS case status? Because usually, I don't know for sure if they do it for every single case, but usually USCS workflow is that as soon as they receive your package, they're going to update it to say RFE response under review, under review or received. Um, but if that didn't happen in your case, and your case still pending, I would just mail it again. But maybe at this point, you might want to talk to a lawyer, law firm 101 to make it more thorough if needed. But otherwise, if they did receive it and it's been a year, because right, we're in 2024 now, February, you might want to consider filing a lawsuit. And depending where you live, sometimes our office doesn't have to file an actual lawsuit. We can demand a decision, essentially send like a demand letter to the U.S. attorney. We don't do that for every case because I really believe that's better served when we have a better relationship with the U.S. attorney. And sometimes when we do and we ask as a courtesy to them, they're like, no, you just go ahead and file a lawsuit. Just they don't have the capacity to contact USCIS, for example, and then wait for it, and we have to contact back. It's just sometimes it's depends on the scenario. So happy to chat about it. Okay, let me switch over to YouTube here. Thanks so much for your patience on there. I think I'm here now. Daniel, you asked, what about adoption? Can your sister adopt you? Likely not, because I'm assuming you're over 16. If you're over 16, it's too late. On a state level in America, you can adopt an adult, but that doesn't matter because by immigration law in the United States, if you want to adopt someone, it has to be under 16. And there's a lot of rules with adoption. It's quite complex. All right. Nausea Chelsea Fan TV on YouTube. It's been 5 months since you submitted your medical R fees for your spouse. Your spouse of U.S. citizen to NBC. How long does it take to review and get a decision? Does that mean your interview will be waived? Now I'm going to answer it backwards. Yes, it likely means. Well, yes, it likely means your interview will be you will be waived for you because they sent you RFE. Because the olden days, 2 years and before, at least before 2023, if they send you some kind of notification by paper to your mailbox requesting for medical, it's actually traditionally they would say just bring the medical to the office, to the field office for the interview, whenever that interview will take place. So basically, they want to give you a heads up, like, hey, your interview is coming up. I don't know exactly when the interview will be, but go ahead and get your medical ready. Okay. And so they're saying back then, before 2023, they would say not to mail it in, but now they're saying mail it in. So more likely your interview would be waived. But folks, if you get an interview notice, don't be scared. Okay. Don't I know some of y'all don't mind, right? In terms of you're not scared in that sense, but you want to prepare. Okay. You might think you really know your spouse until they ask that one or two questions. You're like, damn, I thought I knew. I didn't think I had to know that. And they don't always ask this, but I'll give you one for now. How many tattoos does your spouse have? Does your spouse have any tattoos? Hmm. Yeah, I've heard that question. We didn't represent that client at the time, but mm-mm-mm. You would think You should know if you're married to someone, you need to know all their tattoos. So yeah, that'll give you an idea. All right, but your first question was, how long will it take? So yeah, there's no black and white timing. It's unfortunate that yeah, it's been 5 months for you so far, but after you mail in that medical exam, it's just a new workflow for them. So they're not on a set timing. But if you're considering to file a lawsuit, a mandamus lawsuit, hopefully you don't need to, but it's from the date that you filed the case in general. So typically on these cases that the interview was waived or likely going to be waived, it's probably been under 12 months for you still so far. So if that's the case, it's still too early to file that lawsuit. Thanks so much for the question. Okay, let me hop over to this next platform here. Uh, Dylan, Dylan on TikTok. Hi, sir. Your parents came on a tourist visa. Can you apply for green card? Yes. They number one, they came on a tourist visa. Number two, you have to be a U.S. citizen to sponsor them as immediate relatives, and then that can waive any unlawful presence after they if they were to overstay their visa, tourist visa. But you should certainly talk to an immigration lawyer 101 to understand any possible consequences of overstaying a visa, because some people might take it the wrong way, and then obviously we love to share advice. So welcome to ask, okay? So if you're just hopping on for the first time, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe prevent that freaking problem from happening in the first place. So if you're wondering how to get in contact with us, you can certainly DM us on your respective platform. I know YouTube doesn't really have something like that. They really should think about that. And then if y'all are hearing me, YouTube creators or developers, and then but the best way right now is going to our website, greencardguys.com, and click on contact us. If you want to qualify for a session at no cost to you, it's 15 minutes, and just click option one. Alrighty. Panda. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. I'm finally getting to see more comments here as I scroll down. Um, hmm. I'm getting there. Okay. C. Mary's, a limited stay given during the previous travel will it be a problem when entering the US? What do you mean limited stay given during previous travel? Okay, DM us, okay, because or send another message in. Does that mean you overstayed a little bit after? So a 3-year bar, for example, most lawyers talk about the 10-year bar. If you overstay your visa by more than 365 days, but the 3-year bar is from 180 days to 365 days, okay, between that time overstay. And you leave the United States, that's a 3-year bar. I don't know if that's gives you an idea or answers your question there. See, Marys. Marisol Torres. How long does RFE review take? Now, look, we've been very fortunate that when we check the status, like okay, they received it. We check the tracking, mail tracking, they received it. We also track. We have a stage on our system to see how long it takes them, and it seems to be for us average 1 month. Now, I can't say that just because a client has a law firm with our backing, I can't promise to you that this just because you have a lawyer makes it faster, but certainly because we help prepare and review, respond to the request for evidence or notice of intent to deny, we know exactly what they're looking for. So, and how to organize it, for example. Um, so, when we make it easy for the USCIS officer, I would suspect that makes it easier for them to make a decision, whether it's approval or denial. But yeah, I don't. I think for people who represent themselves, it tends to take longer. That's the kind of experience that people share here. All right. Uh, okay, I was looking for the other comment I just saw earlier. Okay, Hazel. Hazel is the one that asked about Lozado. Your lawyer didn't do the last step. What step? The 485 or the interview abroad? Okay, DM us and schedule a meeting with us and we'll talk more, okay? Hopefully your case is still active or if there's time to refile or reopen. P mail, you've been saying that? Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Hey, what's up, BJ? Oh, there it is. Okay, Hazel. Hazel says she was told not to show up to court. What the Oh my god, and that she will do something else and got in deportation procedure. What the freak? Okay, so we gotta talk, Hazel. Uh, she would do something else. What is that something else that they were referring to? What the hell? And you got in like okay, so you got a letter, Hazel. Did you get a letter to go to court? A referral to a notice to appear? Referral document? Uh, yeah, that's ridiculous. Hopefully there's a way to resurrect your situation here. Maybe explanation to the judge, of course, um and to the government attorney. Okay, P Mayo. How do I feel about boundless? Okay, this great question. I just talked to my team about that. So there's another company that or a company that's all software. Okay, you fill out the forms on online through their company, which honestly, folks, like if you're gonna file your own case, which some of y'all have, y'all shared your experience and you told me that if you're gonna file your own case, just do that on the USCIS.gov website. Like Boundless does make it seem their intention is to make it a little bit easier. But look, if you're gonna do it anyway, why pay them any money? I mean, they got series funding. If you're familiar with Silicon Valley, they got series funding, round of funding, a lot of money about that to support them. But look, a lot of difference between our a law firm, at least ours, versus a software company only, is that from what I understand, we got a couple inquiries this past week actually, who they started the process with Boundless, but then they realized Boundless doesn't provide like the full support of an attorney of a law firm. So maybe they offer you for like they upcharge. I'm sure, of course, if you want to talk to one of their attorneys. What I understand is like a contract basis. I don't know if you would talk to the same attorney every time. Look, I mean, I have associates, premier associates, and I train them. I call them premier associates because we train them every day. I don't know if any other law firm does that. So we have to stay on top of immigration. Things change from time to time, almost like every other day. So there's a lot of scenarios to know. And so if you think about a company like Boundless, I highly doubt that. Like I just looked at their website actually like last week because I was talking to a few other lawyers about it. And I mean, to each their own. If you want to use the program, great for you. But I'm looking if for folks that are looking for support, a conversation with a human, that's us. Okay, we keep you updated about your case. Um, yeah, Tony says Boundless offer you what you can technically find for free with some googling and reading. Yeah, so I mean, to each your own. I mean, if you want a slightly easier and you don't want to Google as much, research as much, sure, you could pay Boundless. But look, most people they want attorney support, and there's some shit that happens throughout the year, especially when it's a case that's a bit more complex. But some of y'all is not complex, but it's more about the administration or USCIS agency that's like, okay, what the hell? You just got an RFE. So if you find your own, go for it. But if you get a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny or even a denial letter, please contact us, okay? Because you've already spent money on your case itself, especially with fees going up. April 1st, 2024. It is not an April Fool's joke. It is the real deal. It's happening, and you already paid your fees. You got in this situation, this predicament of our fee or etc. that I mentioned. Contact us, okay? Because hopefully there's a way we can help resurrect your case to get you on track again to get your status. I would hate for you to have to refile and then the fees went up by that time. But yeah, check out our website or some of our pinned videos on at least on TikTok. You can learn more about the services we offer. Let's see. Okay, some questions here. Hazel, do I have someone in NC? So I do have I know a couple people, attorneys in North Carolina. Um, so yeah, if you needed someone to represent you in court, because I think you're the one that mentioned you had a court hearing, let me know, okay? Uh, Delia Racinos on TikTok. Is the Form I-90 to renew your green card or just replace? Thank you so much for asking. It's both. They have a couple different boxes, check boxes to check mark why you're filing it. So if you lost your green card, you file I-90. If you have a 10-year resident card, okay, you file the I and you need to renew, which I suggest at least 1 year in advance, especially if you like to travel, get it 1 year in advance. Because right now it's taking with y'all's shared experiences, it's taking on average at least 2 years for the I-90 to be processed. It's ridiculous. Um, but if you have the 2 year conditional resident status, okay, you got a 2 year card. We call it CR, which Tony, I think Tony mentioned that his wife has that. Then you need to remove those conditions, and as a different form. It's the I-751. Please don't make the mistake of filing the wrong form because USCIS does not refund your money. They're not going to say, sorry, you filed the wrong form. Here's your money back. They'll just say you need to file the right form. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. So if you have a significant other, a partner, make sure to get something for them. Thanks for the reminder, Tony. Appreciate it. Okay, question. Let me go back up on YouTube. I don't want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I think I left off here. Okay, roots and routes. Your wife is a USC. You had children before her, and before you and her got married. What would be the process for her to petition your children? They live overseas. Okay, so because she's a citizen, she definitely and you're in the US anyway, but she would need to file a and because you're legally married, roots and routes, you need to file she would need to file a I-130. So it does include stepchildren. And it sounds like your kids are under 18, so under 21 at least. It's weird. There's rules between for about children 18 and 21. You can file for them if they're under 21, let's say 20 years old, but the marriage relationship has to happen before they're 18 years old. So you said children, so it sounds like they're under 18. All right, one petition per child, if followed by a U.S. citizen parent. Okay, then let's see. Daniel asked about if there's any other way to go to the U.S. unless she sponsors you. So that kind of question, Daniel, happy to answer, but that's more of a paid type of consultation. All right, to go through all of them. Otherwise, you're welcome to go join one of our workshops that we're going to offer. I keep talking about the past week or so, but I need to get with the marketing team to see when to offer it. Could be like on a Friday. I have to check the schedule, but we'll stay tuned. Okay, on YouTube at least, there's a community post area, so we'll probably share the link over there. A Henfo, you asked as a immediate relative of U.S. citizen, if you file for adjustment of status while your visitor visa is valid, while your case is being processed, do you need to apply for extension of stay? Wonderful question. Y'all's questions are all great, but this is one of those like I've been meaning to record a video about. Um, you don't have if you're married to a U.S. citizen, all right, specifically a U.S. citizen, you're in the U.S. You are about to overstay your visa. Let's be real. USCIS is likely not going to approve your case before your visitor visa expires. And by the way, there's no rule to say you need to file your marriage package adjustment of status before your visitor visa expires. However, I do get it. People want to try to file it before your I-94 authorized stay expires. There's there's no rule on that. So don't feel pressured in that sense. But you do not, to answer your question directly, you do not have to file a extension of status. In fact, it's probably gonna get denied because it's just not a common that you don't have to do that. I know it's weird. They require that for the other things. If you want to change status from like H-1B to like J-1 or something else, O-1, but for marriage, there's no there is for like B-1 to F-1, like visitor visa to student, but not to a marriage case. I know it's kind of strange actually, because you would think they want more money. USCIS. They're not funded by Congress. So that is a bit surprising. Thank you for asking. All right. Let's see. I am probably going to be able to answer. I will try to answer five more questions, folks. Then I got to hop off for a meeting. Khan ask, can you change daughter's name on the citizenship ceremony? Yeah, if she's the one that's like an applicant, then yeah, you can change it. I believe you can still. Well, shoot. Hopefully you did that before. If you didn't do it on the application, the N400, they were supposed to ask you at the time of the interview. So, but if you already had the interview, you didn't mention it yet, mention it at the oath ceremony because the thing is, look, you might be wasting your time going to the oath ceremony, but at least you could talk to maybe an USCIS officer. You definitely want to show up because, but otherwise, I mean, you're already there. If you haven't asked already at the interview, because sometimes, most of the time, when our clients, ask us to go to the interview with them, the officer does ask just in case, even if we check mark no, don't want to change name, they'll ask, and some clients all of a sudden want to change a name, first name, middle name, last name. It's usually one of those names, but and the thing is because when you get scheduled for oath ceremony, if you're changing your name, it needs to be in front of a judge. So that's why if you're wondering like, oh, why did my friend get a oath ceremony much sooner than I did after an interview? It's because judges are not always available. And I think it's at least quarterly. I don't know if it's monthly, but at least quarterly from my understanding. Okay. Because it has to be done by court order for name change. But the default is that the ceremony is not done by a judge. Okay. Hey Jane, thanks for talking with the office today. It seems like with your emoji with the hands up, seems like you had a good experience. Thank you. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm always open to feedback. If you have a not as pleasant experience, always happen to feedback. You can send us a DM or just share on here. All right. P-mail, you didn't know if they interviewed you separately, if that makes sense, or like individually. I forgot, is your case in the United States or you're abroad? I don't remember. Um, let's see here. Okay. Hey Bertha, thanks. Happy to go live and share information. God bless you as well. She said our live helps a lot. Glad to hear. Okay. Tego Buchanan. Oh, by the way, this is a good time to mention. Thanks so much, Bertha, for your comment. If you appreciate the way we share information or you had a great experience with our team on YouTube and Facebook, you can see it scrolling down below. Please go to reviewtinglaw.com and we appreciate your 5-star review. Thank you so much. Now to Tego Buchanan. Um, you asked about explain advanced parole. So it's basically so a lot of people say like, can I travel abroad? It's not it's this card because it's not a status, but this permission per se, advanced parole, or otherwise known as travel document on paper. It's not it's not permission to leave. Okay, but you should get advice 101 if you can leave legally with an attorney, immigration attorney 101, because yeah, anyone can buy a plane ticket, but it's more about can you legally come back into the United States even if you overstayed your visa, for example, or you didn't have a visa to start to begin with, but maybe you're married to a U.S. citizen and you can apply for advanced parole. So it just depends on a lot. It may also depend if you have any arrest or criminal history, because we don't want that triggering for referral to immigration court. Not Uncle Jesse on TikTok. If Trump gets elected, can he remove the current parole program for Haitians? Um, so it's not just Haitians, right? This humanitarian parole is for a lot for people and nationals of other countries as well. Um, I don't. It's interesting because I don't believe it's different than TPS. TPS he sued to get rid of it, and that didn't work. Okay, somehow that didn't work. But humanitarian parole, there could be a reliance on it, but yet I think it could be stopped. I don't You can't get rid of it. It's always that's that kind of program has always existed, but it just got expanded in the past, what, 2 years by now? 2 to 3 years? Um, that would be an interesting lawsuit, but I don't think he's gonna well, if Trump gets elected. First of all, I don't think Trump's gonna get elected. I truly believe that. But I know some of y'all are concerned. And I think part of it is you might hear about him more often than like Nikki Haley, for example, is because I mean everyone has the right. U.S. citizen. If you're a U.S. citizen, please vote. If you're not a U.S. citizen, here's my PSA again. I have like PSAs all throughout the hour. Do not vote if you're not a U.S. citizen, even if. And usually this is what comes up that makes you think, oh, can I register? Usually, when you register or get your like renew your driver license, I don't know why. I've had some clients tell me like, "Oh, the Department of Motor Vehicle or public safety representative told me that I could. The clerk told me I could register to vote." No, I don't know why. Freaking Governor Abbott needs to get rid of that at the DPS office or DMV office, because I don't know if it's common in other states, but like why? Why there out of all places to register to vote? I truly believe anyone who's a US citizen needs to register to vote, but why offer that to someone if they don't know if that person's a green card holder or not? It's ridiculous. It's like entrapment in my belief. And because the person working at the DPS office, DMV, they don't know anything about immigration law, and they don't ask you that. So please be careful. Fortunately, we were able to help someone get citizenship even after they initially denied. But my goodness, man, that could have been resulted in denial. Alrighty, folks, let's see here. But yeah, it is possible. Y'all are great. Thank you so much for y'all responding to other people in our community here. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and sharing some tips while I go live answering other people's questions. Um, did I hit 5 questions already? Almost. Okay, Panda Porky. Panda and Porky. Do you have a restaurant or something? Or you do reviews about food or something? Panda and Porky. Parents petition you. They got banned in the US? Did they get a removal order or something? But your parents are the sponsors, but they got banned? Sounds like we need to talk more. You were told that the petition is still active. What do you do? Well, you should check the case status. What do you mean you were told? You should check yourself. Google USCIS case status and check that out. I don't know what you mean by they got banned since they're the sponsor. Someone has a butterfly icon here. What is your question? You said great guest question, please. Did I miss something on TikTok? Guest question? Okay. Thanks for tapping the screen. I appreciate it. If you can go ahead and give it a follow down below if you want to join on future lives or just get notifications or other videos. We're really trying to share real content and not waste your time on which some social media people on social media might do. Um, thanks for the heart. Appreciate it. Someone oh man, I missed a lot of questions here. So sorry. Thank you so much for your trust to ask a question. I greatly appreciate it. Again, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, hoping to solve your immigration problem, point you in the right direction, or maybe prevent that problem from happening in the first place. Okay, we got a question from Tawana on TikTok. Can your husband deny? I think what you mean is can NVC deny be denied for your husband's case because you owe the government taxes? Look, you can owe the government taxes from the past, but make sure that you have some kind of agreement to pay them back. Um, but in terms of your current income, as long as your current income exceeds the poverty guidelines on 864P, which if you're not familiar with it, you can Google search USCIS 864P and the chart will show up. And it should be updating every March of every year. So, even if you owe taxes to IRS, that's okay if you're sponsoring someone, as long as your income exceeds the poverty guidelines. Okay, let's see here. Okay, roots around. Okay, great. Yeah, they're under 18. That's good to know then. All right. Well, hope uh, you may not need our help then, but if you do, let us know. Okay, since you filed your own case. Bharat Kumar on YouTube. Your brother is an American citizen, married and with 3 kids. You're Canadian and married with no kids. Can your brother sponsor you if you're married? Yeah. So, thanks for the question. Yeah, early on the show, I was talking about siblings. I'm sorry, like if a parent was sponsoring, and if you were married or single, then that can make a difference. But if you're filing for a sibling, if you're filing for a sibling, then marriage does not affect it. In fact, your spouse will be included in part of the case. Okay, and your children. Okay. All right. Let's see. It's me, Carpax. What is the date that you're lawful resident? Yeah, it's the date on your card that says issued or on your approval notice. That first date that says like issued or validity date. Thanks, Laura Garcia. You're on point with me. How far back does Anna Boosted? How far back does USCIS look into your financial records and bank statements for visa through marriage? So it's interesting because depending if it's like a case in the United States or abroad, and depending also on your relationship, some folks recently got married, but then they've been together for a year or so, and maybe they've had an account together. Then we recommend to provide, for example, up to a year tax 12 months of shared joint account. But some of y'all just based on our advice, of course, you may have just gotten a bank account recently shared together, a joint. So I would just provide at least 1 month. But there's no rule to say like, oh, you need to provide X months. But if you end up having an interview, it just makes the story better, truthfully, that because if they ask you, hey, they could ask you, because I try to think like an USCS officer, like I probably would have way more detailed questions, but for example, if I see that you've shared that you were together for a year, but then I see and I ask you like, "Oh, when did you start living together? When did you have a bank account shared together?" And you say like, "Oh, last month," then I would ask more questions. So the more bank statements, the better, in my opinion. What does that mean? More than 12 months? No, I just max 12 months, so you don't overload them. Thanks for the hearts, and Y'all's gifts. Nothing on DACA. Sorry, God, Jesus in my life. Great name, by the way. Um, hey, studios of Alice, do you need to mail your original docs to to your spouse who's outside you? Oh, no, 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 no. Do not mail any originals, okay? Just a copy. As long as you upload a docs to NVC website, ceac.state.gov, you're good to go, okay? No originals because you don't want to lose it. Originals are only that you need to bring are for the interview in the United States if your beneficiary, your spouse, filed a 485 application. I know it's weird. Like, what? It's just different rules depending on the case pathway. All right, folks, my stomach is grumbling and I have a meeting soon. So I'm going to answer one more question. And okay, I think this, okay, maybe two more questions. Decor by Yawa. You better tell that dude to start working. Okay. She asked about the bank account. What if he doesn't work? You better tell that dude to start working. Okay. You, something, something. But no, in all seriousness, he doesn't have to work. A spouse doesn't have to work, but you can still share a joint bank account. Okay. But seriously, you need a, um, if he's able to work, um, because of course I don't know his situation. Maybe it can't work physically or something. Let's see. Have to be PC, of course. Got to triple check. Thanks, Anna Boosted. Thanks for sharing with Ginger Cat that. Yeah, we have a office, physical office. We're not virtual. We have a physical office in Houston, Texas. But yes, we do help clients in all wherever you live. Fortunately, with technology, we're able to help out wherever you live. Let's see. Okay, two more questions. Violet Scott on YouTube. Can you retrieve a USCIS case number? Your file petition for you I-130, but will not provide this information. What the he won't provide it to you? What kind of nonsense is that? Usually the first thing is say to file a FOIA, FOIA to USCIS. You could do that. I believe you could do that online. I don't handle that anymore. My team does, but um, that is strange. Typically, whoever is like the signer of the document is probably the one that needs to sign the FOIA, but you might want to try because the petition would have your name on it. You never know. And then it has a question of ask for, what exactly are you asking for? What record? Just put in there I-130. And hopefully that will have the I-130 form and receipt notice. And hopefully they'll give it to you. That is so weird. He won't give you the receipt number. Like, you wouldn't do anything wrong with it. Okay, one last question. Thanks so much for your patience. Again, if you're looking to how to contact us, go to greencardguys.com. Or if you're on TikTok, just DM us. It'd be a lot easier for you. All right, Kayla. USCIS asked you for RFE. It's not medical, it's your affidavit of support, his social, and proof of citizenship. Same thing for your husband, too. Is it more likely that your interview would be waived? Um, Possibly, but that by itself doesn't indicate it. If you already mailed in your medical, then certainly they wouldn't have asked for your medical. Also, do they check your uploads when you upload a website? Yeah, they do, as far as I know. But I don't know if they would say like check like in 24 hours, but you might want to check your case status on uscis.gov, um, because it's supposed to indicate like RFE response under review or something like that. Okay, that could give you some confirmation. I don't know if they do that for every single case. Um, Violet, let's see. What was your question? Okay, yeah, your dad's situation. He's got some control issues. Then sorry to hear. Sorry to say. Do I have contact? Yeah, so go to Go to free visa quiz to fill out the form, or you can go to greencardguys.com. It's down below. Okay, so hopefully, you go to contact us page and you can see our form. Alrighty. Thanks so much for asking. And I think that wraps it up. Yeah, welcome. So you talk to after you fill out the form, you'll see the calendar. Let me see if I can share that here. It's gonna look like this. You're gonna see the calendar after you fill out this form, like you pick option number one, verify now. It doesn't show here, but here's the form. Just a few questions so you understand your case, and it's gonna redirect you to our calendar, and you'll speak with our cares team specialist so they could verify your situation. Then they'll offer you a session with one of our attorneys. Okay. It's usually not me, by the way. Just to be upfront, it's usually not me. I love speaking with y'all. It's just that my team tells me I need to take a break every once in a while. But if you want to speak with me directly, it's typically paid consultation for that scenario. Which, by the way, we please don't take this the wrong way. We get a lot of inquiries, but we have a request for sessions, and we offer at no cost. However, there will now be a cost. I can't say it out loud, but it's going to be this much. Okay. All right. Because if anything, hopefully that would secure you to make sure you can show that not secure, but show up to the appointment because our team it blocks it off for someone else, right? So hope you understand. That should be happening, I think, later today. I mentioned it yesterday, but need to talk to my team. Alrighty. You're welcome, Violet. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch tomorrow. Take care. Peace.